after Use Me, I had this idea that because I'd written a short story collection, what I really should do is spread out, and now I need to write a novel. Not only do I need to write a novel, I need to write a big novel. I need to write a novel of ideas. So I had this idea that I was going to write a novel about. I took it to Joy Harris, who is my agent, and showed it to her, as I had with Use Me. You know, when I was writing Use Me, I was showing it to her in pieces. And so I thought, okay, well, I guess, you know, it's been almost 2 years I'm working on this. This is the book that I'm contracted to write. I will show it to her. And she read the novel and said, this is amazing. None of the things that you do well are in evidence here. And she said it in a very nice way. But it was extremely difficult to hear. And I have to write that book today because I felt like I had to write that book. You know, I'm a good girl. I've always done my homework. It used to be that I never missed a deadline, and I felt like, well, I've been contracted to write this novel. I must write this novel. I must turn it in. It was like being forever late with the book report, and it made me crazy. And so when she said that and said, it's not particularly funny, it's not smart in the way that you're smart, I knew it was the truth. It hurt terribly, but it was also liberating. It gave me permission to put it away. Now, a lot of people, when I tell them that, oh my God, I spent all this time working on this book that I ultimately basically killed, put in a steel drum and shoved under my bed, they say, oh my God, I could never have done that. How could you have done that? Or are you sure she was right? We talked a lot about it. You know, Joy said, are you sure that you don't want to keep going? I'll give you notes. You can do this. I'm sure it'll be a good book. But I'm really thin-skinned, and I teach, and when I talk to my students, I say, you know, I want to feel when I'm reading someone's work that there's some blood on the page. I want to see some bloody fingerprints. I want to feel like the writer gave up something of themselves. It doesn't have to be autobiographical, but I want them to go someplace ugly and give me something I didn't know that feels true. And there was nothing in that book that felt, to my point of view, ugly. I mean, I was basically vamping. It's like, oh, this is an interesting character. Oh, I'm writing satire. You know, I started off with Spy Magazine. That was my thing for years. But there was no heart there. And so I guess I could have stuck with it and turned it in. Listen, it was part of a 2-book deal. It would have been great. I would have had that second book out 3 years after the first one, right? I'd have been on that, like, after Joy told me that she thought that what I was good at was not in evidence in these pages. She was either setting me up with a challenge, like revise this and make this the book you want to make it, or I am telling you that what you're doing here isn't you're not working in the direction of your strengths, and maybe it's time to cut bait. She was never leaning on me like, you've got to turn this book in, you've got to